In today's episode of Jurassic Evergreen Park, I will build an insanely detailed habitat for the Dimetrodon in the swamp area of my park. And with that said, hey guys, Legion here and welcome back to new Jurassic World Evolution 2 speed build. And today we are, as I said, building a habitat for the Dimetrodon. This is in the swamp area, just like the redwood area I previously built. Today we are continuing a swamp themed area where most of the habitats and pretty much all of them will be themed after a swamp biome. So if you want to see more awesome builds like this and also see the finishing of this park done on my channel, you will have to subscribe if you aren't subscribed yet and new to the channel. And also I would recommend you to check out some of my other speed builds, since there you can see some other awesome tricks for habitats and just some awesome habitats in general, and also another park, and you know, you will get a lot of inspiration for your own parks. But anyways, as I said, this habitat is pretty detailed, and I use like a lot of little plants in this habitat. The reason for that is basically because it's a pretty small habitat, and this in general is a pretty short episode with not a lot of stuff being built. I was kind of done with inspiration for this build. I was kind of like wanting to do a break, and I also talked about that in the last episode, but I decided to continue it with at least one more episode because I just got a little bit of inspiration for this area in particular with the Dimetrodon habitat. And because in the previous episodes I built like a little plaza in front of the Suchomimus exhibit that was like a cascading swamp and something like that, you know. And I liked the shape of that plaza, but I didn't really feel like it was able to transition into the rest of the park and into like what I wanted, like a little pathway, a little concluded pathway, which we're not seeing in these cinematics. I'm gonna show that later probably in the next episode. Yeah, and so I changed up the shape of the plaza and sort of did like a little bit different of a cutout, and decided to have a path going out of this plaza and then joining back into the plaza in a different area, and it sort of, you know, loops around. And if you take that walkway, you can see into the Dimetrodon habitat, which is sort of embedded in that path. But you can also look into the big herbivore habitat, which isn't built yet, but it has been planned in the last episode with like the river and everything. And I also built something over there, connected some zip lines in an episode like 2 episodes ago. I built some zip lines over in the area for the lagoon. Where we pulled off the lagoon glitch, and then I decided to connect that, build some other things there and some path infrastructure, like a bit of pathing I already did there. And that is pretty much what we are doing in this episode and what I'm building. So there's not really too much. It's not like a really big habitat with like a bigger plaza. But what makes up for that is that this habitat is pretty detailed. I used most of the tropical plants for this habitat. I usually like using the tropical plants for swamps because I think it'll just look really lush and everything, and make everything look really overgrown. So I combined these foliage brushes where there's like a lot of plants. I combined that with the tropical plants, some of the ferns, and I also used the small ferns, which I usually just use in larger quantities in like planters, like building custom planter shapes, which I just like to call, you know, the planter trick. And now I actually decided to place individual ones of them, and also of the smaller little of the other little plant that is sort of similar in size to the fern, and that just creates a lot more detail. And I think that the Dimetrodon really feels at home in that habitat because most of the ground there is water, but it's like a really, you know, cut off shape. It's a really fun water shape. You don't see me doing that in the video because I was just kind of like thinking, like how this build started was really me just being like, okay, to have any inspiration, any idea for what to build, and I just messed around for like half an hour or something, and then I came up with this path shape and the habitat, and I built like a bit, but then my game crashed and I lost quite a bit of progress, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna hit the record button now and I'm gonna start recording the newest episode. And talking about that, there's like a glitch in Evolution 2. It's not probably patched now that we have gotten like the bug fix update. That was a glitch that I usually experienced when using the move tool, which is like when you go on to delete, you can either delete or you can move an object. And that is really useful tool for building. If you didn't know that existed, it's like really useful, and I use it quite a lot. And sometimes when I use it in this park, what happened was that my game just crashed, and I usually lost a lot of progress on the stuff that I was building. And I hope that is now fixed. I've built a bit of stuff now in the after the newest update in this park, just like a little connecting path and a little guest area. But during that time, I didn't experience any crashes with that move tool. So yeah, I hope that it's fixed. And if not, I'm gonna probably make a video about it to maybe get like someone's attention and to get that fixed, because it's a really serious issue and it's really quite annoying. But talking about the latest bug fix update, of course, that didn't come on its own, as you guys probably know by now. If not, that would be kind of weird. But it was a new DLC for Jurassic World Evolution 2 release, and if you have been keeping up with my community posts, you will know that I was, let's just say, disappointed with that pack. But I will talk about that in the next video, and that will be a speed build for one of the species. I'm not going to be doing speed builds for all the species, especially not in a daily marathon. Because first of all, I'm not really excited for the species in there, and there's no free update, so there's no really new building content we even have. So I can't even like build habitats with new stuff for animals I don't like. I'm just gonna build habitats like I used to, like we usually do for for animals that I don't really like. One of them I think is pretty cool. That is the Spinoraptor. And for that species, I'm going to be building a habitat in this park actually. I have a really cool idea already for that habitat, and it fits in quite nicely in this park. And also the dinosaur, the Spinoraptor itself, fits in well into the swamp area, because of course it is a it's a hybrid of the Velociraptor and Spinosaurus, and the Spinosaurus lives in a swamp, of course. Like it doesn't really live in a swamp, but that's where we always put it in. Like that's where we always put it. That's always the habitat that we build for it, and because it eats fish and everything. When the trailer released for that pack, I also did a video on that. I did like a reaction video, and because I just couldn't really believe it. And if you have seen it, maybe you have seen that video, it's now not taken down by me, but it's privated. And the reason for that is, first of all, that I planned to do that from the beginning, because I also did that with my like reaction and sort of showcase of the last DLC when that came out. And I didn't do that for the trailer, I just did that for the DLC coming out. And I deleted that video after some time because it wasn't really that high effort and wasn't really needed anymore, because the DLC was already out. I want to do the same thing for that video, but that video, like the trailer reaction, was pretty bad in my opinion, because I was like really disappointed, and I didn't really have much to say. I was just kind of like being sad, and I couldn't really believe that we're not getting a free update. And yeah, but with that subject quickly brushed over, let's get back to the actual build. And I personally think it's really nice. I think it makes for a really nice vibe, and also a good area to sort of view into that bigger herbivore habitat, because I didn't really want to do like just a fence from where you can view it, or just a little barrier. I didn't really want to do that again, so I did like this little elevated walkway, and that's something different than what I've previously done for like areas like that. So yeah, I think that's quite nice. And also I really like Dimetrodon. It's one of the best species in the game. It looks really good, and it comes in a really good DLC. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the speed build. I hope you're going to enjoy the speed build for the Spinoraptor as well. I've got a really good idea for that, so stay tuned and subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Enjoy the cinematics. Bye bye.